Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics.
Yeet, skirt,
2021 is upon us. COVID is over.
We did it.
I think
Hope you had...
The other day, I referenced the George Bush Mission Accomplished speech, and Mona didn't get it. And I was like, you didn't know this? Like, I don't know, it was like 2004 or something. He gave this Mission
where he's
Accomplished on the banner, with the banner on the ship.
The Navy's destroyer. Yeah.
He was on the carrier, and it said Mission Accomplished behind him, and it was like, oh.
Yeah.
We got him, sir.
Still
that,
not.
and then the when he got that shoe thrown at him.
Oh, that was
an
classic.
iconic moment. But...
Iconic Bush moments.
Remember when Cheney shot that dude in the face?
And then the other dude
iconic
apologized
Bush
for
moments.
There's a great...
other guy
the other guy
apologized.
was sorry.
Cheney shot him in the face, and then the other guy apologized.
He shouldn't have been standing there.
I'm sorry I got in the way of your bullet. You totally would have had that quail.
They also,
Not gonna lie, quail hunting is very dangerous, though.
Well,
but they literally
quail
went
hunt-
somewhere and then they filled the place they were going with quail.
That's
It's
what
not
I was
like they
about
were
to
even
say.
hunting.
As they
It's
brought the quail to the location.
That's
you
like
know.
them
Well,
putting.
that's what they do.
That's
yeah.
like them putting a collar on a bear, marching it up to you, and being like, "Well, here you go. Let's hunt this bear. Oh, look, it's right here."
No, places legit do that, though.
Yeah, it's like poaching on safaris.
But you pay good money for it, so it's all good.
I don't like it.
Hope you enjoyed your holidays and have a happy new year. This week we watched Alien from Ridley Scott. This week's episode, it's myself, Dylan, Zach,
Hi.
Cameron, and Ben.
Hey there.
To kick things off and get everybody in the right mood, we're going to introduce this week's cocktail. It's going to be a weird one. We did the alien secretion one already, so we're not going to have your nice little green froofy drink. We're going with the White Russian.
Why did we go with this?
Well, the White Russian we went with because in the movie, Ash, the douchey android, he's got that milk juice coming out of him.
Ew.
Oh God.
That's what I kind of figured, but I wasn't.
Ash
I wanted
runs
to
on
be
White
sure.
Russians.
The classic recipe is equal parts Kahlua vodka and heavy cream. No, what's up, Zach?
Oh, they're gross. I just don't like them at all.
Oh, this one's pretty good. I mean, I used the Mr. Black and just that, and then I did half cream and half oat milk because a fucking ounce of heavy cream just sounds really gross to me. But it's good. It's kind of like a milkshake. It's like a desserty drink. Nothing in there's really too alcohol heavy.
It's always been too bland for me.
So why is it gross? I'd like to hear this
Because
thesis.
it's vodka, and
Okay.
heavy cream. I'm fine with heavy cream. But heavy cream and vodka?
Right, but
Add
what
whatever
about
you want. It's just gross.
what about didn't you say it has coffee or coffee liqueur or something like that
Yes.
too?
Yeah.
Is it both? Is it either?
It's equal
vodka.
parts.
No, it's vodka, Kahlua, and heavy cream in equal parts.
I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. I mean, what's your opinion on spiked coffee, like Irish coffee?
Big fan.
Okay.
Huge fan.
All right. So is it just the proportions that are weird to you? Like what's
No, I don't put vodka in my Irish coffee.
Well, okay, I know that. So it's the vodka that you don't
The
like.
vodka's a big negative. Starting off.
All right, I'm just identifying where the hesitance lies because it feels like it's a very similar to that.
Zach would love this if it were bourbon and not vodka, but because it had the word vodka in the recipe, Zach immediately was like, "This is gross."
I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to try it with a bourbon or a rye.
It's kind of a classic cocktail. I think I got kicked off of the cocktail list because there's an International Bartenders Association list of cocktails, and the White Russian was on there until the 70s or the 80s, I think, and then it got kicked off. Maybe it wasn't the White Russian. Maybe I'm thinking of the Black Russian.
So they took the one without the cream off.
I think so. Yeah. It's only two things. I don't know. Is that a cocktail? If you just combine two things?
I think so.
Does that a
like a
cocktail
vodka
make?
cranberry is a cocktail.
Well,
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke.
vodka Sprite.
Bourbon and maple syrup.
Zach just needs an excuse to drink more bourbon. He's like, if I put a little syrup in there, is it?
No, I think
Yeah.
I think that it's a cocktail. If you combine two things, I think that's a cocktail.
We should figure that out.
I think it can be. If you combine vodka and gin, I don't think that's a cocktail, but I mean, I
What?
suppose it would be, but it's a terrible
But
one.
Gin and vermouth is a martini, is it not?
That's a good point. I don't know. See, this is kind of like what's
Boom.
a sandwich discussion or what's a soup discussion, you know?
God
Oh.
damn
What's
it,
a
we're not
stew?
getting into this goddamn soup
Have
discussion.
you guys ever heard of putting cream cheese on a hot dog?
Ew,
No.
no.
Ew.
Watching an
Wait,
episode of The
isn't that-
Sopranos last night, and
Isn't that like a Chicago thing?
I don't
cream
know.
cheese?
Something weird on there?
No, I don't
Not
think
sour
so.
cream?
There's a place in Ypsilanti that used to sell a sandwich called the Bad and Moody, and that was like roast beef, cream cheese, and spicy brown mustard. That was delicious.
So it
But I don't know
seems
about a hot dog.
weird, but it is just a cheese. I mean, I wouldn't say that putting cheese on hot dogs is weird, but then cream cheese for some reason does seem weird to me. So I don't know. I mean,
I think it's a texture thing.
I don't know if I'd try it, but I would be, I don't know. I'd be amenable to the idea, I guess, but I wouldn't try it.
Cameron likes the idea in theory, but he hates it in practice.
There's a lot of things that are like that.
Cream cheese on a hot dog is the communism of foods.
No one's ever gotten to the final stage of communism, you know? Everyone tries it and is like, I kind of like all this power stuff I have. I don't want to give it back. And it's like that with cream cheese on hot dogs, you know? You're like,
I don't want to get back.
that's
to
not a
cream
good
cheese.
idea. I don't. Yeah, this sounds like a great idea, but I like the
I'd like the
knowledge of
hot
not
dog.
having cream cheese and hot dogs. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, this sounds great in its final form, but I'd rather just not and eat the hot dog normal.
So I'm considering getting LASIK.
So
What? What?
if you make a White Russian, send us a picture on Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod and use the hashtag Cocktails and Classics. We'd love to see what you make and hear your thoughts on it. Do you hate it like Zach? Does vodka make you icky?
Icky Vic.
Icky Vicky. Ooh,
Ew, ew.
And if you haven't seen Alien, go to HBO Max. It's available there right now. They got the director's cut,
Don't watch
the
it.
regular cut.
We didn't watch the director's cut. We watched the normal one.
We did
Just
watch
throwing
the
that out
normal
there.
one. But grab a White Russian, listen to this week's episode, and enjoy the show.
Both are on HBO Max, you know? You
And
don't
if
have to watch the
you're an
director's cut.
optometrist
Don't
and
let-
you're looking to advertise, we are currently taking.
More
you can
sponsors.
Email me and we'll talk about some sort of deal we can work out in regards to LASIK.
This week, we watched Alien, a 1979 horror sci-fi film. It's currently at an 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and it's the number 53 top-rated movie on their 250 list.
Yeah.
Dope.
It's the story of a space merchant vessel that receives an unknown transmission as a distress call, wakes them up out of their hypersleep, I would assume. I'm just using sci-fi terms here.
It's
And
that thing
they're
Antonio Brown tried to do. But he may have given himself hypothermia instead.
He may have almost lost his foot.
Yeah.
They're sent to an island. Fuck me. They're sent to a planet.
It's a 3D island.
It's
It's a spherical island. If you think
It's an
about
island in
if you think
space,
about
but-
space as an ocean, the planet is an island.
They go to the planet. They find an abandoned ship, and there's a mysterious life form there, and it happens. Things happen. Shit hits the fan. Directed by Ridley Scott, written by Dan O'Bannon, stars Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, John Hurt,
Sir Eek
Harry
Holm.
Dean Stanton's in there.
Tom Skerritt. This is the goddamn Catalina wine mixer.
Oh my God.
Veronica Cartwright, Ian Holm, Yaphet Kotto.
Sir Ian Holm.
Where do
sorry.
I know Ian Holm from?
He was Bilbo.
Oh, yeah.
in the
he
OG.
is. You're right. Good call.
He was also in Brazil.
He also played Frodo in like this like BBC radio version of Lord of the Rings, like this read along.
The Alien franchise is really just had, banger directors.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott did the first one. James Cameron did the sequel. David Fincher did the third one. And then I think Ridley Scott has done every
The
other
Fincher one was
since.
probably fucking weird.
And Ridley Scott wrote most of the recent ones too.
Not really. I think
Yeah.
the third one is a lot. I think it's more actiony.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think it's as good, but it was also his first movie I think he's ever done. So
First movie? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Like his first feature.
They gave him his first feature on Aliens 3, which is like the follow up to like I mean, this is like a critically acclaimed like franchise. Like, it's impressive.
At least the first two, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever.
It
They
got-
usually get.
It got weird
bad.
in the middle.
I see.
Yes. Everything else he had done before that was all like music videos.
Well, I mean, that's where you get your start, right?
Back then,
That's,
yeah.
That's where I'm going to get my start.
Alien won one Oscar and was nominated for one. It won Best Visual Effects and was nominated for Best Art Direction, Set Direction. Which, holy shit, the sets in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the captain's quarter with the,
All of it.
the lights.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
well, that's not really the captain's quarters.
That's
right? It's
Where,
like
the
the
mother.
where Mother was.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the AI of the ship. is
I didn't
there.
see Karen Pence there.
Oh no!
Different. It's MUTHR.
Wait, really?
Mutter.
Yes.
Oh, weird.
It
But
stands
yeah,
for something.
Yeah, the sets and the practical effects and everything in this movie were like fantastic. It was impressive what they were able to do back in 1979, right? That's when this
Yeah.
movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Like this, yeah, great.
There's a lot of props that come from like Ridley Scott and people who made this movie towards Star Wars that basically piloted what sort of technology can we do and what visual effects can we make in space. And then Ridley Scott's like, dope, we're going to take that and make it a horror movie.
I was going to say, really the only thing that's aged, which same pretty much with Star Wars, is the stuff in space is like
Oh, yeah.
not the best looking, but it like
I
it
was
kind
gonna
of
say the alien is kind of like, at
when you
times.
see the full guy,
At
when you
the
see the full
end,
guy
yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like moving,
and
it
and
kind
the
of looks
mouth, the second mouth that like comes out of the first mouth, it looks super robotic.
like a hydraulic.
Yeah. It's like that doesn't look great, but I mean, it's hard to fault him for that. Yeah, some of the space stuff is kind of meh, but all the sets inside, like either the first spaceship or like even the one when they were in the giant spaceship, like investigating it, like those were great. Yeah.
I always thought the eggs looked really good. The way the eggs
Yeah.
opened up and stuff.
Yeah, or even like the props of like the like face grabber alien.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they're like
The chest
dissecting
burster.
it or whatever. Like
The chest burster
Gross.
looks good when he's coming out, but then once
Not when
it's
he
like
skitters
skirting,
across the
when
room.
it skirts across,
When it looks like it's
funny
not.
looking.
When it looks like someone just has it on a rope and is pulling it
Yeah.
across the floor.
yeah, it's just like on roller skates. It just goes.
I did notice that I feel like no one in this movie has ever actually had a cat, because when they're looking for Jones, if they would have just thrown out the pss, 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 boom, would have got her. Or him, I guess. I don't know Jones's gender.
You just assume the cat's gender,
I did. I'm sorry.
Dylan. Yeah, I thought it was funny they included the cat. I figured you'd like that part of the
Oh,
movie.
yeah. I mean, I would totally do that though. Like,
I-
I would be Ripley in that scenario. I would go after the cat. Like, I would not in the instance of Harry Dean Stanton's character, like, be like, hey, let's split up.
Right.
You go get the cat.
Right.
We're going to keep hunting. Like, they Scooby-Dooed the shit out of that. I was like, why would you split up?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
Right.
thing I do whenever I'm in like pairs with somebody we're looking for something is I ask myself, am I in a horror movie? And if any part of me says yes, we don't split up. That's something
Right.
I've learned.
Oh, anytime I'm in anywhere where it's not even am I in a horror movie, it's could this scenario be turned into a horror movie? If the answer is yes, motherfucker, you're staying right here.
Sometimes
why-
I wonder in these types of movies if horror movies exist in the universe they live in, because I feel like that most people have that thought. But then in those movies,
There's
they
no
never
way,
consider it. They never consider those like classic tropes of horror movies. They're never like, oh, let's split up. And one guy's never like, that's actually a piss poor idea. If you've seen any horror movie ever, it always pans out horribly. So let's stick together, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, horror movies only exist in like the disaster movie, scary movie genre.
It
Yeah.
exists in Scream.
Oh yeah, and Scream. That's
Yeah.
basically the same thing.
Yeah. With less of
Yeah,
the
it has to be like meta about it.
Yeah.
This was actually my first time watching Alien all the way through. Like, I've seen bits and pieces, and I was telling Zach, I've seen Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem, and I've seen all the Predator ones, but I never like sat down and was like, I'm gonna watch all of Alien. And I was pleasantly surprised. Uh, when we were on that barren planet for so fucking long, and I was like, holy shit, this is like 30, 40 minutes of the movie. Where's the alien coming?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I hadn't seen this movie either. I knew like
Whoa.
some of the things about this movie, and I kept like as they kept landing, they're like, "Oh, we have a breach." I'm like, "Okay, sweet. When are we gonna just see the alien like sneak into the thing? Like, when is that gonna happen?" And like it kept cutting to like outside shots of the ship, and I'm like, "Oh, here it is. Here's where we're gonna first see
It's
the
gonna
alien like
slither
sneak
in.
in." No.
I'm
Nope,
a
nothing.
xenomorph. I'm a slithering little
It's
It's
xenomorph.
gonna be like
Close,
the end of
xenomorph.
Insidious when that lizardy thing that starts
When
crawling
does-
on the wall.
When does the xenomorph actually like? They don't ever say its name or like name it in that.
I don't know. I don't know if it is ever like actually said in a movie.
There's other versions of it.
It might be in Aliens. I don't know. They didn't have it in this one.
Yeah, if you go deep into the Alien franchise lore, there were actually like prior versions of the xenomorph called Xeno other things.
Oh.
Yeah, xenomorph or some shit as well. Because there's like the stuff in Prometheus where they're like not quite.
It is first the term xenomorph, alien form from Greek xeno, which translates to other or strange, and morph, which donates shape, was first used by Lieutenant Gorman in Aliens, with
Okay.
reference to generic extraterrestrial life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see here that the xenomorph design is actually based off a surrealist painting,
Yeah.
Oh,
Necronomicon 4.
Oh, sweet. That's the Wikipedia page I'm on.
interesting.
This movie is kind of artsy in a sense. Like it's very like surreal at points, I would say. Some of the stuff where like Ridley is in the hallway and it's like really super like choppy with the light, like the lights keep going on and off. It's like strobing, but then it's like cutting between other people. It's fucking. And I was like, huh. I can't believe this was
Oh
popular.
my god!
in
This
79.
the first paragraph on this concept and creation is horrifying. They're like, we couldn't figure out how to get onto the ship. Inspired after waking from a dream, Shusett said, I have an idea. The monster screws one of them, planting its egg in his body and then bursting out of his chest.
Yeah,
This movie is about alien interspecies rape. It's scary because it hits all our buttons. Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God.
can.
Wait,
you
was
can
this
thank
Steve? Was this Steve O'Bannon who wrote this movie?
No.
Oh,
you can
Lord.
you can thank the editors for making this not a rapey movie. Because like when Ridley Scott originally got a hold of the script, he started penciling in some really sexual stuff. Like at
Really?
the end scene when you see Ripley get down into her underwear when she's getting into that spacesuit. Originally, she was supposed to be completely nude, and like that is what would trigger the xenomorph to wake up from his like sleep, and he would lunge after her because of her nude body.
Oh my God.
Excuse me?
Yeah, when she started taking off all her clothes, I was like, why? What
Yeah.
is happening?
She's going into cryosleep, bro.
I mean, I get that part, but dang, I was like, what? Come on.
We've got to make her a sex symbol.
None of
Quick.
the other people did this.
Gotta make Sigourney Weaver a sex symbol.
Well, they did when they woke up. They were all in their like.
Yeah, they were all in
were-
pretty much whatever undergarment type.
Like, it just felt very forced. Like, they, like, very much were like, yeah, let's just have
We
her
didn't-
take off all
yeah.
her clothes.
We
near
didn't
end
need
of
the
movie.
close up on like her pubic region.
Right.
yeah, that was a
The
little
weird pan down to her sticking her leg in
Yeah.
the suit.
Yeah, I would have caught the drift if
Yeah.
she was like unzipping her jacket. I would have been like, yeah, I know what you're doing. You don't need to show me.
That is weird. I don't think that this movie needed that at all. Like, I'm glad they cut that shit out of it. Because, like, man, I feel like that.
No, is it Lambert, the other female? Like it's kind
I don't know.
of oddly sexual, weird when like she dies. Like the tail like slithers up her leg, like
yeah.
towards her butt
Yeah.
region. And you're
It's
kinda
another
like,
thing is they were trying to like interject a lesbian love relationship between Ripley and Lambert, and when the editor struck that down, they tried to make us there actually was a sex scene written. I don't know if it made it to a deleted scene if they even filmed it, but between Dallas and Ripley.
Why? It doesn't need it at all. Like, 0%.
Yeah,
because sex in horror
I'm kinda
movies
glad.
sells.
I'm kind of glad none of that's in there
I
because
feel like they would have cheapened it a lot.
it would have just made the runtime longer.
Okay, this is so weird. Okay, so there's this other part on this Wikipedia page. They chose that Necronom 4, citing its beauty and strong sexual overtones. That the creature could just as easily have been male or female was also a strong factor in its decision to use it. It could just as easily fuck you before it killed you, said line producer Ivor Powell, which made it all the more disconcerting. What?
Where are they? I did not get the sexual.
I did not get
overtones
any
at
sexual
all.
vibe from that creature. What the fuck are you talking about?
It is the perfect specimen, according to Ash.
I will say, if you look at that picture, its head
Looks like
the
a
back
giant
of its
dick.
head. Yeah, the back of its head looks like a giant dick.
And whatever like its body curls into like a tail also looks rather phallic.
yeah,
So
Especially
the-
because in the picture it looks like he's stroking it.
Going all the way back to the face hugger, the face hugger is basically the body of like a horseshoe crab, and then a vagina and penis all merged into one thing, and it latches onto your face.
They kind of make this fucking alien. It's like Michael Myers-esque in a sense of like it won't fucking die.
Sure.
Because it's like, oh, if you hurt it, it just acid bleeds through the floors, and then when she opens the doors at the end and yeets it into space, it holds on.
No. So what happened is, if you saw, she fired it was like a grappling gun at it with the cable.
yeah, it was like a
It
No,
shot.
but it still holds on before that though. It's like
Oh, onto
latched
the
on
door.
and like
Oh,
Yeah, held on to
and
the
then
door.
she shoots it off.
latches onto the door. But yeah, once she shoots it off, it attaches into him, and then the door gets locked in the airlock, which
So another weird sexual thing is they're also saying that the second mouth thing or whatever is like a phallus, but also the like snapping teeth or whatever is also like a vagina, like a biting vagina.
Oh, I hate biting vaginas. Those
so
are the worst.
teeth.
Like in
Got
teeth.
it.
Teeth.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
um,
I kind of probably could have lived my entire life without knowing all these sexual.
That's what I'm
like,
saying is like, you know what?
overtones.
I feel like these weird sexual components that they writers like thought of when they made this movie or whatever, like it kind of, I mean, it doesn't ruin it per se, but it does bring down my.
it does diminish it, right?
Yeah, it diminishes the movie. It's like, come on.
I'm kind of glad I wrote down my rating before we talked about all this, because it definitely is affected.
Yeah, I mean, geez, like, oh my god, like now if I watch this again, like, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's a dick. Like, oh, that's a vagina. That's a dick. That's a vagina on a dick. Like, okay, I could have gone my entire everything
vagina
without
on a
having seen
dick.
that.
This movie is full of great scenes. The chest burster, I think, is the most obvious, but one that I've always wondered, even today, where they're like re-releasing this, how is there no epilepsy warning for the end of the movie?
I was thinking that exact same thing because there were many parts where, especially near the end, where Ripley was like crawling around in the vents or whatever, and it was just like flashing lights at you.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, if someone has epilepsy, like this would probably trigger a seizure. Like, this is fucked. Also, I think it's really funny that this whole movie started like going downhill fast when Ripley was like, hey, you guys need to quarantine. And they were like,
Yeah.
nope.
I thought this movie would be a little topical.
So fitting.
And I was like, oh my god, this is an allegory for COVID. What the fuck?
It was funny when Cam mentioned that. He's like, let's do Aliens next. I'm like, yes. Quarantine time. Before the new year when it's not quarantine
And
anymore.
and you know, like now you know when you watch the movie, you know why that doctor did it, because he's a robot
He's the
and his
baddie.
prime objective was to get the alien on board so they
But-
could transport it back to Earth.
But
Obviously.
what did we learn? Quarantining is important, and when it's required, you should follow it.
And when you don't do it right,
Otherwise,
aliens get in.
yeah,
And they
it
burst through
from
your fucking chest.
Yeah, so quarantine or have aliens pop out of your chest. That's really what we're talking about here, you know?
I knew Ash was like an android from like seeing bits of the other ones, so like that didn't like surprise me that much. But just how much blind faith they put into the like science head or
Officer?
whatever, where it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
all right, yeah, you've gotta make the choice. Do we keep this fucking alien that might murder everyone on here? And he's like, yep, let's do it. And they're just like,
He's
no.
replaced like one day before the expedition's supposed to be set
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. did you ever fly with him before? No, I had a different science officer for like 5 missions. And then, like 2 days beforehand, they're like, yeah, here's this new guy. So, yeah, I don't know about him.
These missions that take decades, by the way. Like, the gap between Alien and Aliens is like 60 years. And it's all just brushed over in that, like, hypersleep.
So how is Ripley still the same age, or not the same, but
Probably the
hypersleep thing.
hypersleep.
That's yeah. I mean, in theory, you would be sleeping and your metabolism slows a lot when you're asleep.
I mean,
and so
you could always just
also,
pull a Marvel
it's
Universe
relative.
Captain America. You were frozen in whatever,
Carbonite.
frozen in animation, and then you never move. So
that, but also time is relative to you. So you're going faster and you're going through space. So
They flew the ship in
Time is
reverse like they
relative
did
to
in
you,
Superman.
man.
no,
No.
this is reality.
And the director's
It's
cut
like
of
if-
Superman 2. Got it.
God, Jesus Christ. It's like in Interstellar. You know how they go down to that one island?
Is that one like The
And they're
Martian?
like, it was 20 minutes
it's
for
like
us.
Inception. It's like dreams within dreams, and each dream you go down like, another multiplier of time.
I saw the episode of The Office where they talk about Inception. Is that good enough? Can I hang in this combo?
Wait, have you not seen Inception?
I've never seen Inception.
Oh my, wow. That's actually surprising. That's a shocking thing.
But no, this is actual like
a good
science.
movie.
Time
You
is
should watch it.
relative. Time is relative to you. So like
in
say
Doctor
you have a
Strange.
twin on Earth. Say you have a twin on Earth, and one of you goes up to the moon and comes back. He will be younger than you on Earth.
like age-wise?
Yeah, because
Yes.
he wasn't on Earth to celebrate his birthday, so therefore he's only like 4.
That makes sense.
It's like when
Yep,
you're born on a
that
leap
checks
year.
out.
You're technically only you only get a year older every 4
You're
years.
not able to drink until you're like
But it's like
80.
it's like in Interstellar too, when they go to the one island and it's like an hour or some shit, and they're like it's 26 years on Earth, and it's like that's the same.
Yeah.
I think if I had a birthday on a leap year, like on February 29th, instead of celebrating it every 4 years, I would try to remember the date and move it forward one day. So, like, the next year, my birthday would be on March 1st.
March
And then the
1st.
year after would be on the 2nd. And then the after would be on the 3rd. We are so close to solving the time fabric and space relationship.
It wouldn't make it. It
we're
doesn't make any sense.
minutes
Okay,
from it.
I'm just saying
It's
that
all,
this.
It's all a giant conspiracy. The Earth is the Earth is flat. None of this is real. No, Cameron, it's because when you leave Earth, you leave the simulation. So like you get unplugged and it's like you don't age. And then once you
Yes,
come back into the
you're in the goop.
simulation, you go back again.
So it's actually the farther you get away from the Earth's core, you age faster, which is why John Quincy Adams was trying to get to the super young mole
get to the
people at
center of the
center
Earth.
of the Earth.
So humans could live for 1,000 years. I see.
So what about when Ash went tit grabbing? Did anybody else feel their pectoral rip out of their body?
I was just so confused. Like, what the fuck? He is just like mean mug. Like,
I was expecting him to like fucking stop his heart or some shit with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, some Kill Bill shit.
Okay, yeah. So I thought he was gonna go full Jason Bourne when he rolled up that newspaper or that magazine. Not just try to like stuff
Where
it
they
in,
shoot? Yeah,
just try
stuffing
to
it down
stuff
her
it in
throat
her
or whatever.
mouth,
What the
like-
fuck?
I think he was like gagging her.
Yeah. Well, he was
Yes.
trying to suffocate her for sure, but I feel like
Should
there
have
would
plugged
be
the
more
other end of
effective.
the hole.
I feel like there's easier ways to gag somebody than with a newspaper roll.
But like, yeah,
That's how you get out of that one.
Also, whose like room was that on the ship?
Yeah, it had like porn on it,
It
like on
had
the walls.
It had so
In,
many
like, a
nudie
mobile?
pictures on it. Yeah, and a
I think Ridley Scott was in this weird, like, sort of beta male competition with Stanley Kubrick to see who could fit more dicks in a movie.
There were no penises there.
You gotta
Yeah,
look
but the
closer.
xenomorph's head is a dick.
It does look like a dick.
Big
At
old
least
piece of
in the reference material they used to design the alien, it looks like a dick.
So I have a question. Which chest bursting scene was better, Alien or in Spaceballs?
I was gonna ask.
Because in Spaceballs, the alien jumps out and does a little musical number.
It's so interesting because in Alien they were like, oh, weird. It's like something burst out of it, huh? Anyway, let's not think about this anymore for 5 more seconds and let's go do something else. Like, bro. Oh, it's a warning signal. Oh, that's weird. Anyway. Oh no. Anyway.
What could it be warning us about? I don't know.
Oh, there's a weird alien thing that's attached to one of our friends. Let's bring it on board.
Oh, bursts out of this dude's chest. Maybe
Like I said, that
we
can
should
be
kill
explained.
it.
That can be
No,
explained
let's just
easily,
let it run away.
But
Yeah, well, and like Kane is just like so horny to like fucking fuck with these aliens though. He's
Yeah.
like, there's a mist and it like changes when I'm in it. Oops, slip. Okay, now I'm too close to the X to turn around now. Let's fuck with it. There's something
Yeah.
inside it. Let's keep poking.
yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I
Like,
will
Guys,
say it is,
should I
like,
bring
I don't
one
know
of
if
these
in
eggs
this
back to the
universe-
science officer so we can examine it? Nah, I'm gonna see if I can open it right here and now.
Well,
What
so
could
he
go
came
wrong?
across one that was already opened, I think, right?
no, it like
No.
opened up with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
There.
okay.
And Lambert the entire time is like, let's go back. Let's go back. This is
Yeah.
sketchy. Let's go back.
Right, let's get out of here, please. She's the only one with a rational head in that moment. Well, her and Ripley, which might be.
Well, and then
you
she
know.
like sucks at the end. Like Parker's like, get out of the room. Move. It's gonna kill us. Doesn't move.
And she
Rose
gets her
up.
I think-
ass eaten.
I think
by a
he's telling her
facehugger.
to move out of the way so that he can shoot it with fire.
Yeah, which
Like,
is how you
move.
want to shoot things.
Move so I can flamethrow this thing, and it's like,
In retrospect, he should
I
have burned them
can't.
both.
yup.
I mean, really, like,
Dallas going through the air duct scene
Yep.
was like
Super intense.
yeah.
just so well done. Like the angles on the shots and like everything it did to like kind of build that suspense leading up to like it's coming right towards you, and he's like, nah, it's not here. Like, I'm looking both directions, I don't see anything. The worst, but like when he drops down and he's like, oh, and then he's looking and there's nothing, he turns around. Oh, that jump scare got me a little bit.
Oh yeah.
This movie was really good about the jump scares without being like. It's another thing I think we talked about this a lot in. Well, I think we talked about it in October without it being like overly gory. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like most of the kills just kind of happen off screen, so it kind of leaves it to the imagination. But it did a
like
Well, it's
the
interesting
chest
'cause
burster
they-
is like the big like.
yeah.
They remark on.
But they did do a couple like really good. Like the jump scares were pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, even in the movie, they remark on the fact that there's no blood with the kills. He's like,
Yeah.
we found this gun, no blood, no
No,
Dallas.
no body. Yeah.
Right.
Except for when he kills Lambert and Parker, in which case, then
Yeah, it's
then
true.
there's
But then,
blood
because he
and
like
bodies.
stabs them, I guess.
he used his
Yeah, with
he
the
used his
penis
penis
vagina
vagina
mouth.
mouth.
He's
So this week's podcast is brought to you by Surfside Sips. They make high-impact glass straws. They're a family-owned company, and what's better than saving the turds? You know.
the turds.
The turds.
You know, I'm one of those people who hates using paper straws. Paper straws fucking
Paper straws
suck.
suck.
I
They are the
love
worst
what
solution.
they do. I love that we're minimizing the use of plastic straws. I enjoy that. Paper straws suck ass.
They suck. They're the worst possible solution because turns out, guess what? Paper and water don't fucking mix, okay? I don't know who came up with it, but it doesn't work. Even though they put coating on it to try and help, it doesn't work. It just gets soggy and you end up throwing it away anyway, and that's just more waste. And so,
But you know what doesn't get soggy? Glass.
yeah.
Glass straws from Surfside Sips. And if you want to get some glass straws from Surfside Sips, you can use coupon code cocktails and classics spelled out. That's cocktails AND classics for 20% off your order.
And if you're looking for a business to support during this time, seems like a good idea.
A little bit of a tradition around here is Zach takes over, puts us through a little trivia quiz. So Zach, what do you got for us on Alien?
I'm excited. This one will tie really well into the podcast because we talked sort of about these things, but didn't spoil anything. So, first question. As mentioned in the pod, the initial designs for the alien costume were done by a painter named H.R. Giger. Giger carried these paintings around with them through airport security, where at an airport he was detained by the airport security team because they thought that the paintings looked so real that they must be photographs. What country was Giger detained in? Was it A, Germany, B, the Netherlands, or C, the United Kingdom?
So airport security detained him because he was like, they were like, you took pictures of aliens for real, and we want to know where the fuck
Yes.
you
They're
found
like,
those.
who the hell's aliens are these? Because they're not ours, and we're very worried about it.
And they're kind of sexy with their penis heads.
I want to say it's the Netherlands because I want to believe that the UK and Germany wouldn't do something like that. Just like, I don't know.
You got big hopes for Germany of all the countries?
Well,
They've had a troubled history.
okay, actually, you know what? I take that back. It depends on Germany. When was that? 70, 79. Okay, you know what? I'm going to switch my answer to Germany because I could see that being a like East Berlin type of thing where they're like, no, no, no. Especially if like the Russians are involved, you know what I mean? Like it's like, dude, they might detain you for no reason whatsoever in that like instance, especially in that time period. Like, I'm gonna go with Germany.
I think it's the Netherlands, just because I believe H.R. Geiger's from one of the Nordic countries. I think he's like Swiss or from one of those countries. So I just
That is not Nordic, but
whatever. So I'm gonna say the Netherlands.
so my thought process is it's Sir Ridley Scott, so UK, and I feel like Geiger. Well, my thought process is that maybe he's from like Germany or something, but really German had like this whole like expressionism, like weird surreal phase. So I feel like it wouldn't be them. And UK seems kind of like white bread, vanilla. So United Kingdom. That's my guess.
So I will say that Giger was on his way to the United Kingdom when he was detained by airport security in the Netherlands.
Dang, I was so close.
Another quick fun fact about HR, good old HR. He was hired to design the Batmobile for Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever. And fun fact, you can go online and find like his design concepts and everything. They are fucking weird.
Sexual.
None of them
Do they
were
have
used.
penises and vaginas?
I wanna see
You know
this.
what? Now that you say it, looking back at what I remember them to look like, yeah, they're probably like super sexual. The irony in that is that they did not like his concepts. They went with another company, and then when the other company
dude,
wasn't,
it looks like a double helix. Fucking weird.
yeah, like it's fucking weird. When the other company wasn't giving Joel Schumacher what he wanted, he gave them like a BDSM magazine and was like, I want it to convey something along the lines like this. That's how fucking weird Joel Schumacher was. So, but yeah, Geiger's shit was just way, way out there. Like, it looks fucking weird. But I thought the name sounded really familiar when we started talking
Oh,
about
what the
it.
hell? This is so
And that's-
odd. The Batmobile by H.R. Geiger. It's like this.
Like Dylan said, it's like a
It
double
looks like a pair of
helix.
scissors.
Yes.
And it like
And penis.
what? I see like 8 turrets as well.
Yeah.
Those are spinners.
There's a reason they didn't go with his work, but I thought it was really interesting when we started talking about it. I'm like, that name sounds really familiar.
Oh, it's funny
I
because
think he worked on Batman, and then it dawned on me that yes, he did.
So I was
He
like, oh, it looks like
designed-
a pair of scissors. I scroll down a little more. The concept drawing literally has a pair of scissors on it.
classic. But yeah,
Oh, because it can fold. It can fold in on it. Like, it can actually do it. The hinges work. So, like, that's the Batman.
It's for when he cuts
Like,
all
it
those
can-
balloons.
Yeah, apparently it can cut and also, yeah.
and paste. It's a whole fucking working computer. But yeah, some fun facts to go with our trivia game. There you go.
Speaking of fun facts that I slyly deliver through trivia questions, Ben is in the lead with 1 point. Question number 2. What material was used for the alien goo? Was it A, a combination of Elmer's glue and borax, B, men's hair gel, or C, KY jelly?
I'm gonna go with
Jelly.
C, KY jelly.
Jelly.
100%. As soon as you started reading the question, my first thought was, well, it's got to be KY jelly, right?
I hope they took advantage of the pre-Amazon industrial 55-gallon barrels of lube, because it was a lot of KY jelly. KY jelly all over the place. Remember the scene where Dallas
It's
scoops the
dripping?
shit off the
Yeah.
floor? Oh, yeah.
I just like the fact how none of us I like how none of us hesitated. We all were just like, well, after finding out apparently it's all about sex, it's gotta be KY jelly.
I worked so hard to come up with alternative answers to that one because as much Googling as I did for like, how do you make alien goo for a movie? And everybody's like, just use KY jelly like they did an Alien. I'm like, I need two other answers, guys.
I need something
I
else.
need clear
Ugh.
liquids.
All right. So basically the same place we were before. Everybody gets a point. Question number 3. Before the scene where Ash shoves a rolled up magazine in Ridley's mouth, director Ridley Scott walked over to Sigourney Weaver and said that Ash was going to shove the magazine in her A.
Oh.
Hooter, B. Booter, or C. Cooter.
Oh my god.
Wait, what was the first one?
Hooter.
Hooter?
With an H.
Hooter,
Hooter
Booter,
with
and
an
Cooter.
H. Hooter?
I mean, I feel like Cooter is the obvious answer, but I don't know.
Those damn Brits.
I'm going to go with A, Hooter.
I'm also gonna go with A. I feel like cooter is very obviously like a certain sexual organ that most people refer to. I feel like hooter would be like, you know, an owl. It's something they say, so maybe that's some sort of UK slang for mouth.
Oi, close your big hooter.
Well, I didn't say it was Boston slang. What the fuck was that? Fucking JFK over here. We will not.
We will not close our hooters.
We can say hooter better.
I guess just to play the game, I'm gonna have to go booter. Just gonna shove the magazine in your booter.
I have a tiebreaker question, but it is not needed because the answer is hooter, which is a British slang term for mouth. However,
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver was confused because it's an American slang term for breasts.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured it was Hooter because I figure he was like, all right, he's going to shove that in your mouth, basically. Nothing else really made sense.
That's 1, 2, 3 on the board for you, boy. So clean sweep.
Get ready for
Get your
zero
brooms.
next week.
Get your
Take a
brooms
solid
out.
2 out of 3.
So yeah, prepare for me to miss every shot I take next week.
You guys want to go for 4? Do you want to hear the tiebreaker?
I mean,
We'll hear it.
We'll hear it.
The tiebreaker, which I was super proud of, guys, I did a lot of reading in PDFs this week. It is, what is the maximum prison sentence for violating NASA quarantine regulations in regards to extraterrestrial life? Closest
Oh my
without
God.
going over.
Probably a lot. I did read Andromeda Strain, and they talk about quarantining and that.
I mean, I'd say like 50 years or something like that. Something crazy.
Death.
Murder?
Immediate
Murder.
Judas.
No.
I'm gonna say 25.
All right. According to Section 8, subsection 203B.8, any person who violates any rule or regulation issued pursuant to authorization in subsections 203B2 through 203B7
Zach reading legalese. This is nice.
shall be subject to a fine of not more than $5,000 American or to imprisonment not to exceed 1 year or both.
Whoa.
Wow.
Only a year?
$5,000 or 1 year in jail or both, but it cannot exceed $5,000 or 1 year.
That's like
Interesting.
I was shocked.
nothing.
So if you
Yeah.
find an alien, you better follow the regulations, or you're gonna have to spill like 3.5, 4 Trump bucks.
Or bring it home with you, and you know what? Just spend that year rent free in prison. You know,
Yeah.
because
there
let's
you
be honest, you're probably gonna go to like a cushy white collar jail. They're not gonna send you to like
You're going to
what is
NASA
go. Real
jail.
jail.
what are you in for? I murdered like 6 people. What did you do? I brought an alien on a spaceship.
Probably get your ass beat for that though.
It's not even that. It's like I found an alien and then went into a spaceship.
I
Like,
broke
You don't even have to.
I broke NASA quarantine.
Right.
Oh, what a hard ass. Welcome to maximum security, bud.
You definitely get sent to like NASA jail, where the punishment is like, you don't
Yeah.
get to fly the space simulator for a year. Oh.
Or they make you
Yeah.
go in the centrifuge every day.
Come on, we're going to the vomit comet again today.
No! I'll repent. I'll do anything, I swear.
I'm sorry.
Those of us who have seen it wrote down our ratings based off memory and nostalgia. And now I want to know, Zach, I guess, the only one who has seen it, if your rating has changed or not. And for us other three, what did we think our first time? Ben, Cameron, and myself. What did you guys think of Alien?
I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. It was really suspenseful up to the very end of the movie. I'm glad none of the sexual stuff we talked about made it in, because that would have made the movie like a lot worse. Like literally like 2 points worse probably. Because man, it just did not need that at all. It wasn't like they do this thing where they basically like, you know, don't show the alien a ton, which I think is good because the more you see it, the less it gets mystified. And also like, you know, with the special effects, makes it easier to show. And it, honestly, like the special effects and the sets and everything was like great, fantastic. Like some of the best I've seen in movies from that time period so far. So honestly, I'm gonna give it an 8. It was a really good movie. I've never seen it, and I'm surprised I haven't seen it up to this point. So yeah, it was really good.
I'll piggyback off that. I'm a big sci-fi nerd. I get down with it. I will agree when you see like the full body of the alien, it does just kind of look like a dude in a xenomorph suit. I also will say I did not know any of the sexual stuff before, and I'm kind of glad it didn't get in there. Um, and I'm kind of glad that it's really not ever gone back to that. It seems. I knew like the beats and like the big scenes because just it being what is it, 50 years old now. Pretty hard to miss some of the iconic scenes in this movie. Sigourney Weaver like knocks it out of the park. Um, it's just great. Good music, good vibes. Not vibes, but like setting scenes really built the world. And I'm gonna say a 7 out of 10. It was good. I did really enjoy it, and I'm interested to watch the other ones. I think people should view them.
Yeah. Kind of like you, Dylan. I think I knew quite a few of the points of this movie. Some of kind of the major, steps in that through it. Again, it's 50 years old. It's been referenced so much throughout pop culture since its release, that I feel like you kind of know what's going on. I do agree with your points. I think some of the best shots of the actual alien happen, like in the vent scene. When you see it, it's dimly lit. You get like the one kind of quick view of it. Yeah, when you kind of see it on the escape pod and like you see its whole body like well lit. I think they definitely should have tried to like kind of keep it a little bit more shaded so it looked a little bit better. I think that lighting could have hid so much more and kept it looking really amazing. But overall, I think we've talked about this before, the ability of practical effects to kind of hold up over time. And I think for the most part they do. I enjoyed this movie. I was telling Zach before we logged on, as I was watching the movie, I'm like, man, I'm kind of curious. So I kind of went to Wikipedia to look at, not like about the movie, but about like the actual alien to kind of learn more of the backstory. And I'm like, I feel like now I need to watch more of these. So like, I know what the hell is going on. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Knowing some of the sexual stuff, like Cameron said, yeah, I probably would have knocked it down a couple points because it's kind of disappointing. But I'm gonna revert to the rating I gave it last night, and that's an 8.
I've seen this movie a ton. With most of the horror movies we're probably going to do, that's kind of my genre, especially growing up. I gave this movie an 8 going in, and I'm going to give it an 8 coming out. I think this movie is a great example of two things. One is how to properly do a jump scare. Like setting up the environment at the beginning is super quiet. It introduces you to like creepy space, and then is able to play on it throughout the rest of the movie once the alien makes it on board. And number two, directors, listen to your editors because, as everybody said, this movie is much worse if the editors don't get their hands on it. Even like some of the deleted scenes, like watching the director's cut is not as good. just weird things that don't need to be in the movie. The hypersexuality, which they do bring back later in Prometheus. I think this movie is really good. There's a lot of fun that I have watching it. How dark it is, the flashing lights. It's done really well. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. That's about the gist.
If you enjoyed this, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Check out our Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod. Use the hashtag Cocktails and Classics to send us movie and drink recommendations. Yeah, send us your movie and drink recommendations. We have some plans coming up. February, wine and cheese, classic like chick flicks.
Wait, but
Just
are we
hard
going
quotations
Groundhog
there.
Day?
Please.
Yeah, we are
Well,
going to do Groundhog,
in Groundhog
Day.
Day, just because it falls on a release day, so we have to do that.
I see.
We're thinking memes in April. Harold and Kumar. What was the one we said?
A couple April
Kung
Fools.
Pao.
We're talking about
Yeah.
Kung Pao.
Mac and Me, maybe. Some really crappy movies.
Monster Truck, where the truck is, get this, an actual monster. Oh.
I mean, I'm always down for Birdemic Shock and Terror. That movie is literally bottom 5 worst movies I've ever seen. Like, it's bad from a sound engineering perspective too.
Could
Like,
we
it's like-
do a
Room?
classic bad movie? I was gonna say The Room, a classic bad one.
I think
So as
everyone's
much
seen
as
it,
we-
but
We've all seen it though. Oh, Ben hasn't seen The Room. Dylan's mind is shattered.
Can we do a group watch?
I've seen The Disaster Artist.
Oh, hi,
I've heard
Mark.
you guys talk about The Room ad nauseum.
Oh, hi,
I've
doggy.
never actually watched the whole thing.
that one will be hard to watch, I think. Is it still on the tube?
I think it's on the tube.
I don't know.
It was
I don't
actually on
know.
the hub for a little bit.
But send us your recommendations. We want to watch what you want us to watch. Share us with your friends. As always, watch responsibly.
Quick shout out to our sponsors, whoever
Y'all
they
the Eye
still
Center.
are. Surfside Sips. Start off your new year. Save the turtles, Get some Surfside Sip
yeah.
straws. Use the promo code Cocktails and Classics.
If there's any LASIK surgeons out there, give us a call. We're looking for a sponsorship opportunity, apparently.